So the second thing, which kind of tails into the professionalism thing, I wanted to talk about. I guess the umbrella category would be more sportsmanship type things. So this would cover chirping, dirty hits, dirty play, um, and the more on ice behaviors, bitching at teammates, that kind of stuff. So for you, when it comes to let's say the chirping, or if you're one of those guys, or you might be one of those guys that kind of plays on the line of a little bit more pest or a little bit more dirty or whatever, what are your thoughts about that generally, and where do you kind of put the line of what's acceptable versus not? Because I remember you talking to me about Charlie. I don't mean to take your point if you're going to say it again, but you talking to me about Charlie saying chirping is kind of what guys do now. It's a little different. Like, not everyone wants to fight anymore. A lot of times it's with words, and maybe it's a little bit more part of the game or whatever. And for me, I was noticing it maybe 2 weekends ago. We were playing, and guys want to chirp, and I immediately shut it down. Like, I shut it down right away. I tell them to shut their pie hole. I don't want to hear it. You're either doing something or you're not doing nothing. There's none of this in between, get us a penalty and cost us whatever. And then I started kind of reflecting on it a little bit, asking myself, am I holding the teenage boys that are full of testosterone and passion to too high of a standard with respect to that stuff? Because to me, I don't particularly care that much about if we win or we lose. I'm not ultra passionate about this game in particular. I'm more passionate about, are they doing things the right way? Are they playing the right way? Not if we win, but they're really passionate about if we win. And some of them get super into the game. They get heated and they start yapping and whatever. So should I be a little bit more flexible about that kind of stuff is a question that I've been asking myself recently. I still feel like no is my answer. I don't think there's a need for it. But what do you think about that kind of stuff, or where do you put the line for guys that you coach or interact with?
So first of all, there's a point in hockey where winning is everything. That's called junior, college, and pro. And I say that because now if you're coaching, your job is on the line. If you lose year after year, you don't have a job, period. So winning is important, or else you don't make money. For players, why I said that is because then it can become a tactic. There's some teams that are very good at being very unsportsmanlike, very dirty, very mouthy. The teams you love to hate because everything you guys do rub me the wrong way, but that's a tactic, right? There's a couple teams in the OHL that have always been like that you just don't like them. They're always yapping after the whistle, this, that, the other thing. And it's not my style, but it's a tactic. What does it do? Is sometimes it draws penalties. It frustrates other teams, or maybe a kid is given a role to do that because he's good at it, and the coach says, yeah, just go. There's a reason for it. But until you get to that level, I would say shut your pie hole. And I would even say that for your whole career, but unless it's instructed to you, or
you can make an argument for it at
you
higher
can make
levels,
an argument for it later when there's money involved or and careers involved. But when you're young, I see zero value in it. In fact, when I had a rule on my team, we just kind of talked about this earlier. One was don't lay down on the ice. If you lay down on the ice, some guys will do it to draw a penalty. I'm like, I don't want a penalty that way. I don't care. I'd rather you show that you can muck it out. You're tough enough that you can get up. And if you do lay on the ice, then that means you're done for the day, that you're going to go to the doctors and get a doctor's appointment before you come back on my ice. That's how serious I took it. One was a bunch of bullshit. What I mean by the bullshit is, like, I know that you're probably not hurt and you probably don't need a doctor, but the point is, I told him, like, I wouldn't want anybody under my watch to be injured.
Yeah, you play the safety card.
So I said, if you're going to lay on the ice, out, and you don't come back on the ice till you're a doctor. What my point was is that you're going to play a tough game without showing that you're weak, or you're going to draw penalties. So
you want to win the mental game.
Yeah. So that's why my teams never laid down. If they did, they were gone. See you later. Go to the doctor. So that was that. Speaking to refs, every team that I coached, I said, I'll do the talking. I'm an adult. I can control myself. And if I lose my shit, you guys can still get to play. I don't want anybody kicked out or whatever. But I told them, I said, I'm smart enough to understand that you don't win battles with refs. So I'm not going to sit there and argue about stuff. I got kicked out once, and it was a playoff game with these kids, and it was more along that they wouldn't talk to me at all. And I took a mark and I was like, "Come on, man!" Like out of total frustration, some kid just going no talking, and I'm like, so I got kicked out for a couple games. Whatever, yeah. And
You
like
threw the marker.
yeah, but it
I love
wasn't
it.
like I'm.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so the
Yeah, yeah.
report was, but this is important. The report was that the coach went nuts and he threw a marker trying to hit me. It's like not true, but you did it. They can say whatever you want, right? So now there's rules that you in junior and in pro where you can't say words. Like there's certain words you can't use. So in the heat of the battle, if you just like to throw your mouth off and you say that when it could be misunderstood, you could have said it, the heat of the battle, whatever, and you lose a paycheck or you lose, you're out of the lineup for a couple games because you got suspended. It's just stupid. So that's that. So I always told my kids that, and this is how I feel about it, is that when you have to chirp someone, you are giving that person your energy. That's how I feel. It does nothing for your game. Like, and people could argue that a good chirp could make someone pissy and take a penalty. That's fine. But to me, it's like, it's energy that you don't need. And I'm always a big fan of shutting your mouth and let your body of work do the talking. Let your skill do the talking. If you say you're going to punch someone in the head, why tell them? Why don't you just do it? Because if you say that 4 or 5 times, it's like, well, you're not going to do anything anyways. So let your actions speak louder than your words 100% of the time. I just feel like there's nothing good could come out of chirping. Only you're only inviting negative, because you could lose control. You could be focused so much on the chirping. You could be so focused on getting them back with words, and it could lead to penalties. It could lead to things. And you know what? The thing is that in life, not just in hockey, obviously, your mouth is they say that, right? Your tongue is the most dangerous weapon. It could be for the good or for the bad, and you could use your tongue eloquently, and it could benefit you a lot of times, which is very powerful. But it could also destroy you with one word, right? So I think when in doubt, just shut your mouth and play. And even we're having conversations is something I'm learning more and more. The less I say, the less trouble I could ever get in, or whatever.
Oh man.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So just sometimes just better off just to shut your pie hole. I would say that for most things.
Yeah.
Just
even if you think you're helping, it's like sometimes it's better to shut up.
Well, that's what is it? If you say nothing and let people think that you're an idiot, or say something and prove everybody right that you are an idiot, right? So sometimes if you just stay quiet, you're better off. But anyways, that's my thing. I think talk is cheap. You and I were watching a hockey game one day, Windsor Spitfires, Guelph Storm, a little bit of a scrum. 2 guys are ready to go. Couple guys on whatever team they were yapping. Went to the penalty box, which we were like a little bit above, and these guys got in the box and they started telling them how they're going to kick their ass. You're dead. You're going to kick your ass. It's like, but you just had a chance and you didn't. So you're all talk. So you go in the box and you're yapping. Then you go on the ice and you don't do anything anyways. So why don't you just shut up? Just go play the game instead of pretending that you're a threat in any way. And for me as a coach, I just go bananas. I think as scouts, I think most of them would say the same thing: is just shut your mouth, go about things quietly. You know, the best thing for me is if you are getting chirped, let's say I'm on the wing and someone just chirp, and it's like you don't say a word and they think that they got you or whatever, and then they say something or whatever and you go whack, right? You let them know that this is over right now, or you punch them out, or you lay them out with a couple good hits. That says everything. That'll shut someone up right away.
Well, as long as you're whatever, I think keeping your word or doing what you say you're gonna do. That's what I always say. I remember talking to Charlie about that too. When he first started like getting into the OHL, I was like, if you're gonna chirp or you're gonna say stuff, just make sure you'll do whatever you actually said, because then people take you seriously. So even if the off time you end up chirping and you don't do it because whatever, it's a bad time in the game or whatever it is, at least you have done it and you might do it, and people have to be careful, and that was one thing I was really proud of with myself, because that I was not normally like that. Like I was not, I remember being a kid and people the thing on me was I was a nice kid. You know, everyone would say that about me. I was a nice kid, and that used to piss me off because I didn't want to just be like a nice kid. So I had to build that ability into my own character. It wasn't there naturally. So whether it was starting with boxing or purposely getting into fights at games or at camps, just so people would see I would do it, and then I got to keep that all through junior, all through university. Like people would know that there is a line, there's a line, and if you cross the line, I'll do something, you know, and that's important to have that authentic feel to you as a player, so that people take you seriously, and you want to do that. And that's just a good habit, even outside of hockey. You just want to be a person.
But you know what's so funny? I listen to interviews, like this is like way off the charts that most people probably won't even think of. But I listen to when people talk about their game and stuff like that. I laugh. Every person that they get interviewed, like, tell us about your game. Oh, it's the same. I'm a 200-foot player. I play in both ends. I'm a hard worker. I'm very physical. I did this, and this. And then you watch, you go, oh, no, you're not. You're a one-way player that never hits anybody and avoids all contact. Why don't you say that? Your mouth just live up to what your words are. So you might as well just say, you know, we're like in a situation like that. I try to do good things for my team, and you know, stay humble and let your actions talk. It's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. And
you know, like that's sorry I cut you off again, but it's like, how's Charlie doing? Like a lot of people, how's Charlie doing? How's this guy doing? It's like, I just learned a long time ago to say, doing well. Oh yeah, like any team's talking. It's like, yeah, you got some here and there. They don't need details because they don't care. Number two is that if I say, you know, whatever, we even some of the guys that we have here, if we start saying, yeah, he's this, he's this, he's this, he's this, he's this, and then they watch you go, well, he's not all that. It's like, just say less. He's fine. You're going to figure it out anyways.
Yeah.
Right?